What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Guns N' Roses Central. And today we're talking about the song You're Crazy as part of Guns N' Roses' True Story. Now, You're Crazy is an interesting song because it was released twice by Guns N' Roses. It was originally featured on Appetite for Destruction with a much faster version of the song, and then there's also an alternate version of the song on GNR Lies, which is more acoustic and much slower version of the song. And it was actually, that's how the song was originally recorded, or supposed to be recorded according to the band. Now, the song was written by Axl Rose, Izzy Stradlin, and Slash, and it was not only just featured on Appetite for Destruction and GNR Lies, but it was also released as part of the Live Air album that came out in 1999. And the version featured on the Live Air album is the slower version, not the version that you've probably heard on Appetite. Although Guns N' Roses, whenever they would perform the song live, they've been known to perform both the fast version and the slow version. Now, more commonly, they perform the slow version, but one of my favorite performances they did was the fast version that they played in Toronto in 1991, and they actually brought Sebastian Bach of Skid Row on stage to join them. So Skid Row was opening for Guns N' Roses for a number of dates in 91 as well as 93. So in an interview that Axl did back in 1988, he talked about the song. He said the original way You're Crazy was written was without the curse words. They didn't come on until it came on full electric, in front of a crowd with some girl trying to hit me with a beer bottle, and I started directing the words directly at her. That's where the curses happened. I stamped her head with the bottom of my mic stand, and she kept coming at me. I didn't even know her. Nobody in the band knew her. She hit Duff with a beer bottle. Axl also commented on the song in March of 1988 with an interview with Hit Parader. He said, "It's called You're Crazy because I didn't want some asshole picking it up and they put F on here, and then they don't even give it a chance. It was written on acoustic about another girl we know who was crazy." Now, Slash has also talked about the song a bit in March of 1988 in the same interview with Hit Parader. He said, "When I play that song, I don't even know what I'm playing. It's just a kick in the ass for me, so I run around. I try to concentrate on the music and keep kind of stationary, except on that song. I don't play the same solo every night because I'm not in the same wavelength as other nights." Slash also said, "We wrote an acoustic version of You're Crazy that ended up as an electric version on Appetite and in its original form on Lies. We worked that up at Dean Chamberlain's, giving it that edge by speeding it up about 20 beats per minute from its original state." Slash also said in March of 2007 that You're Crazy was written around the same time as Mr. Brownstone. It was originally a slow acoustic song that we wrote while sitting in the living room one night. Then Axl, Izzy, Duff, and I went down to rehearsal studio and we were working it out on acoustic, turned everything up to 12. All of a sudden, it took this real breakneck speed. Axl actually enjoyed making the adjustment. Now, Guns N' Roses famously performed this song in March of 1988 on the Fox Late Night Show in Los Angeles, California, and Steven Adler recounted that actual event. So on March 31st, 1988, we did another acoustic performance on a show called the Fox Late Night. The reason I remember this performance so well is because we played You're Crazy the way it was meant to be played, slower, sleazy, more bluesy, with much more feeling, and not the frantic sped-up version on Appetite. Even though Axl had to censor himself for TV and leave out the F words, he did a masterful job, and it's definitely my favorite rendition of Crazy. Now, Duff talked a bit about the song in an Onion AV Club interview he did back in 2011 to promote his book. He said, "I moved into this apartment building, and my next-door neighbor was Wes Arkeen, this crazy little guitar player guy, the little freak. He went to the Guitar Institute a couple blocks from our house, and he came out with the Institute, and there were some guys selling an Alesis drum machine and a 4-track cassette recorder. It was apparently Sheila E.'s bus driver. Somehow he got stiffed, and he's like, 'F it, I'm selling this shit.' So Wes comes home with this drum machine, and we figured out how to use this stuff. The demo of It's So Easy was pretty great. Wes, at this exact time, had taught me how to tune the guitar to open E. We used like every feature on the drum machine, cowbell, woodblock, and everything on the demo. I sang it, tuned the guitars, put the drum track on, and it was just this cool little lazy summertime hit. Wes and I would recall all these summertime hits. We'd call them. I had an apartment and Wes had an apartment before we had a rehearsal space, and it became an encampment for about 2 months for the band. It's So Easy, Yesterdays, and I think 14 Years. A lot of songs were recorded on Wes 4-track. I think You're Crazy came out on Wes 4-track. Sitting in an apartment, we play a lot of acoustic guitars, so I think Easy was recorded on acoustic guitar. The thing about our songs, we played them all on acoustic guitar. Night Train we rewrote on acoustic guitar because we'd written them in little cramped apartments." So You're Crazy has also been featured on a number of Guns N' Roses tribute albums. So there was an album that was supposed to come out in 1999 called Appetite for Reconstruction, and You're Crazy was actually covered by the band Love Hate. And then later on, there was a tribute album called Strings of Fire that came out. It was an acoustic tribute to Guns N' Roses, and Dodo had covered You're Crazy. And then later on in 2003, there was another Guns N' Roses tribute album, and You're Crazy was once again covered on that album. So You're Crazy was actually covered by the band Haste. And during the Skin and Bones tour in 1993, You're Crazy was actually a pretty big staple of the set list. They would play You're Crazy during the acoustical portion of the actual show. Now, Guns N' Roses have played the song for the first time in 1986 at Raji's in Hollywood, and it's been played intermittently in the years since, although the last known live performance that Guns N' Roses did of You're Crazy was back in 2012 at the Wiltern Theater. Let's see where the song ranks on the best to worst Guns N' Roses song list. So according to Spin.com, they ranked the song as 23rd. They didn't look at the version that's on GNR Lives. They just looked at the Appetite for Destruction version. They said it's a 23rd best Guns N' Roses song. Now keeping in mind there's around 80 or so Guns N' Roses songs, so it's ranked pretty high on their list. Now Medium.com ranked both the Appetite for Destruction version and the GNR Lives version, and they ranked them pretty close to one another. So they ranked the Appetite for Destruction version 40th, while the GNR Lives acoustic version got ranked 45th. Personally, I like the acoustic version better, and I really like the version that was included on Live Era. So the final thing I want to leave you guys with are some demos that are actually available on YouTube. So one is of the acoustic version, and then one is, of course, from the Appetite for Destruction album as well. So go check them out in the description box down below. That does it for this episode of Guns N' Roses True Story. Let me know what your thoughts are on the song. Do you guys like the acoustic version better, or do you guys like the faster version on Appetite, or do you guys like the Live Era version the best? Comment down below and let me know. And be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the contents of this video and you'd love to see more Guns N' Roses videos from my channel. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you love Guns N' Roses, and be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. The links to my social media channels are down below, and you guys can also now go support my YouTube channel on Patreon. The link to my Patreon page is down below as well. Take care.